Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great, and today we're gonna be diving into Biomutant, which came out last year on all gen consoles and PC, and it looked extremely promising. But it ended up having way too many flaws to be good. It had performance issues, bad camera angles, half-baked game mechanics, meaningless choices, and a narrator that gets annoying real quick.
It's a bridge. Just get over it.
Wow. So, several updates later, and most importantly, now that Biomutant finally came out on PS5 and Series X, is it good now? Without further ado, let's start this review with the graphics. I reviewed the game on PS5, and although the graphics haven't improved a lot, it's nice to see that apart from the higher resolution, the lighting system is better now, the textures are much more detailed, and the most noticeable thing right from the character creation screen is probably the better looking fur. Oh, and we now have the possibility to choose between these three graphics modes. Quality, which runs at 4K 30 FPS, Quality Unleashed, which instead offers dynamic 4K at a frame rate that varies between 40 and 60 FPS, and last but not least, Performance Mode, which runs at 60 FPS at a 2K resolution. By the way, that's the one I used throughout this review, and as you can see, the environments are beautiful, the character design is unique, and the visual effects are okay. The animations are a little wonky though, even during cutscenes. That being said, overall, for a AA open world game, I think it looks decent. So let's see how it runs. Sadly, even in performance mode, I still experienced a few frame rate dips, and while the performance is far from being completely shit, those dips can definitely be felt every now and then. It's still much better than the PS4 version though, or even how it runs on my shitty PC, so I'll take the PS5 version any day. For those of you on Xbox Series X, I did a little research. In other words, I looked up a couple of gameplay videos on YouTube, and it seems to run and look pretty much the same as the PS5 version. So it's not perfect, but if you're gonna be playing Biomutant in performance mode like I did, you're gonna have a good time. Now let's move on to the sound. The soundtrack is pretty good, I really like the main theme, and some of the music that plays when exploring or fighting is quite immersive. What wasn't so immersive though on the day one version of the game is the weak sound design that gave the player no feedback when hitting enemies. Thankfully that's been fixed by the updates the game received since then, so the sound effects are more than just okay now. But when it comes to the voice acting, the automaton, who's also the narrator, and these light and dark little dudes, they're probably fairies or something, are the only characters who speak English. Everyone else speaks gibberish, so during dialogues you have to wait for the narrator to translate, which means you can end up not really caring for any character, and that's a shame. Anyway, I'll let you listen to the game audio a little bit, and then we'll take a closer look at the most important thing here, your mom's tits. No, the gameplay.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
When I first played Biomutant, so last year, the first couple of hours almost bored me to death. The flashbacks and the narrator constantly interrupting the gameplay sections made me stop playing it. This time though, for the purpose of this review, I had to keep on playing. Plus they adjusted the narrator frequency, so I actually ended up enjoying this game. Now let's discuss the pros and cons when it comes to the gameplay. Starting with the good stuff, the update adds adaptive triggers, controller speaker and haptic feedback support. And I think for a third-party game, that's pretty good. Oh, and the load times are way faster now. Now when it comes to the game itself, the crafting system lets you make all kinds of weapons. It's as deep as the character customization menu. There are plenty of specialization options and combinations, so whether you like melee, ranged or magic, the combat system's got you covered. So when you start the game, you're asked to join a tribe and then later on either try and unite all tribes or defeat them and control the whole area. And at some point further down the line, the game's gonna ask you if you wanna end the tribe war or keep on taking outposts. You should know that after the first one, it gets repetitive as fuck. But every time you defeat a tribe, you get a unique weapon, so it's up to you. Personally, I'd rather play 20 hours of actual content than 40 or 50 hours of repetitive bullshit. Oh, and if you like exploration, then you'll most likely enjoy this game, cause here, exploration is always rewarded. There are chests to open, towers to destroy, and optional boss fights. So when you put the tribe war quest aside, there's enough variety to keep the game interesting. You can do some crafting, trading, riding, and you can also do some side quests to unlock all kinds of upgrades for your mounts, and you can even piss on signposts to unlock fast travel to that area. In all seriousness though, I appreciate how the devs weren't scared to include many things that usually smaller games don't have. Plus, I've only faced one bug, which is the one you're seeing right now, so it's a well-polished game. But it has a tendency to make certain choices seem crucial and irreversible when in reality they don't really mean shit. And since we're talking about the bad stuff, puzzles are way too easy. Actually, the whole game is too easy. I had to go from medium to hard to enjoy the combat a little bit more. I didn't go all the way to extreme though, cause I didn't want to get my ass kicked. You should also keep in mind that the camera angles can sometimes be an issue when fighting indoors.
What a blow!
So after all these updates, what issues were fixed and what major improvements were made? Well, not much. So if you hated the game on all gen, then you're still gonna hate it, but if you liked it, then the improved graphics and frame rate will make it even more enjoyable. Speaking of which, let's move on to the fun factor. The first hour isn't really enjoyable. There are too many interruptions that ruin the pacing, but when the world opens up and you start exploring, unlocking new abilities and getting stronger, Biomutant can be pretty fun. Last year, I gave up on it quickly. Honestly, I had so many other games to play and most of them were better, so I didn't really give it a real shot. But this time, I started it over, I gave it a real chance, and I got addicted to it. I've actually been playing it several hours a day, so if you're considering buying it now that it finally got a next-gen upgrade, you probably should. Which takes us to the value for money. Biomutant is gonna cost you $40, which I think is the reason why the game didn't do well. Most people wouldn't get over its flaws with that price tag, but if it's sold for, let's say, $30 or less, it would have definitely had better reviews.
That's a shop. Time to go shopping.
While there haven't been any major changes made to the core gameplay, the enhanced graphics and performance as well as the DualSense support make the PS5 version definitely more enjoyable. And even though the game is far from being perfect, I think it's more than decent, and that's why I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. If you already have the game, then you might want to give it another shot. And if you're considering buying it, in my opinion, if you can get it for $30 or less, you should go for it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for my Biomutant review. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did, and please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm reviewing FIFA 23 next, and then we'll have some more top 10 videos of the best games to play per genre. So stay tuned. It's been Hitman89. See you guys very soon.